Israel prepares to demolish homes on Jerusalem outskirts, stoking Palestinian fears. Surveyor, West Bank. Reuters. Israeli forces began preparations to demolish homes near a military barrier on the outskirts of Jerusalem under the cover of darkness on Monday, in the face of Palestinian protests and international criticism. Bulldozers accompanied by hundreds of Israeli soldiers and police moved into Surveyor, a Palestinian village on the edge of East Jerusalem, in an area that Israel captured and occupied in the 1967 Middle East War. Palestinians fear that the razing of village buildings near the fence will set a precedent for other towns along the route of the barrier, which runs for hundreds of kilometers around and through the Israeli-occupied West Bank. The pending demolition is the latest round of protracted wrangling over the future of Jerusalem, home to more than 500,000 Israelis and 300,000 Palestinians, and sites sacred to Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Israel's Supreme Court ruled in June that the structures violated a construction ban. The deadline for however, some residents said they would be made homeless. Owners said Israeli forces cut through the wire fence near the village early on Monday, allowing easier access to the buildings. Floodlights lit up a partly constructed multi-story building as dozens of vehicles brought helmeted police and soldiers into the area. They were filmed and photographed by Palestinian, Israeli, and international activists who had mobilized to try and stop the demolition. Since demolition preparations. The sprawling village of Surveyor straddles the line between East Jerusalem and the West Bank. Its political geography is complicated by the fact that parts of it lie outside the municipal boundaries of Israeli-occupied East Jerusalem but on the Israeli side of the barrier, cutting it off from the rest of the West Bank. Palestinian officials say the threatened structures lie within areas that they should control. The Palestine Lib. Jamie McGoldrick, the United Nations humanitarian coordinator, and other UN officials called on the Israeli authorities last week to halt the demolition plans. They said 17. The European Union issued a statement saying they. However, the Israeli Supreme Court's three-judge panel ruled unanimously in favor of demolition. The court said construction close to the barrier could provide cover for attackers. The Israeli military. Israel credits the barrier, projected to be 720 kilometers (450 miles) long, when complete, with stemming Palestinian suicide bombings that peaked in 2002 and 2003. Palestinians. In some areas of Jerusalem and the West Bank the barrier is a high concrete wall, but in Surveyor it consists of two wire fences separated by a military patrol road and protected by watchtowers and electronic sensors. Writing by Stephen Farrell in Jerusalem. Editing by Paul.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.